I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
That's right, guys. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Josh here. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday, kicking off your week right. Sorry about that issue. You guys obviously didn't hear me because the replay was playing for some reason. We're having an issue. Again, we are on our last leg of this computer, and we're going to ride it till the wheels fall off, I guess. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We got a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about some of Americans' perception on DOGE. How does America look at DOGE? Because Democrats are now trying to get their people to conservative town halls. Excuse me. Conservative town halls to make it look like their constituents are upset with DOGE. Again, all doing it for camera, all for show, just like the Democrats always do. We're going to talk about French President Macron. He is with Trump right now. Talk about some of those comments. An email that was sent out to federal employees. It was absolutely excellent. What did you do last week? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that and how people are crying about that. Now, if you've ever been in the private sector, you know we had to do them all the time, especially when the company was bloated and we weren't making as many profits and they brought in, people to try to cut costs. They wanted to know every last detail. And this was pretty simple. And we got some explanations from Donald Trump on that when he was with President Macron today. Also, we had someone lose their job, and no, this wasn't a DOGE cut. I guess it kind of was because it's going to make America more efficient. We're going to talk about her and her crying. She's the one that always tried to wear the Trump hair. And much more, including Dan Bongino, Deputy Director of the FBI. It can't get any better than this between him and Kash Patel. The deep state is panicking. It's going to be great. And we're going to talk about that and many other things. So welcome in. Thank you for being here. Let's check this out. Jan Garner back again. B. Mikey, what's up? Pixie in the house, Trina, Red Wave, Chatty Cathy, BLM Key, K-Tex, Cade, thank you so much for your donation last week, by the way. I did receive that. Thank you very much. KLM 79, B Norton, Texas Bigfoot, Sugar Bear, we got you all popping in the house. Deb V and Jando, Julius, thank you guys for tuning in. If I could get you to hit that like button on the way in, we appreciate it. We're going to start off with, I don't know. Is it sunny where you are? Let's start off with some liberal tears.
My show had value and that, I'm sorry, that my show had value and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. and that it kind of, and then it mattered. I see Karen is there, and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment that of guilt that I felt, that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, that, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them. Or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues, and yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my.
I love the of God people supporting, the LGBTQ trans agenda, supporting mutilization of little children. That's such the God's agenda. These people are beyond crazy. But I mean, think about it. Think about how many people we've seen just drop in the last, 6 months. Maybe her and Don Lemonhead can do a show together. They could podcast together. Don Lemon shot himself in the foot when he screwed over Elon Musk, and Elon Musk gave him a pretty lucrative deal on X and cut it out before it was done, because his first interview was Elon Musk, and he goes, "Man, all you're doing is recreating CNN. That's not what we want. Be yourself, man. This isn't going to go nowhere. This is not news." And it's just awesome. Over the weekend, the video of Ben Bergquam going up to her about her Trump hair while we were in New York for the Manhattan case, the trial for President Trump. That's been going back around. People, I think we're seeing it slowly. The writing is on the wall for a lot of these places. MSNBC is in the tank. Nobody watches anymore. Nobody had watched her. It's the same. I mean, the people that would watch her are the same ones that go for these party of socialism and liberation protest out in the streets. Mainstream isn't nowhere near her. And really, she was just used as a talking point for people like me to be able to make fun of how crazy the Democrat Party is and who they have as a spokesperson. Again, very biased. And when she talked about some of the immigrants, yes, they broke the law. They're in the country illegally. You never spoke up about them when they were murdering Laken Riley or others. You never interviewed an angel mom and said, "Oh, wow, this is terrible. We could have prevented this tragedy." You absolutely hate America. America sees it, and that's why your ratings were absolute crap. And no, Pixie, I'm not going to use the SH word. So Joy Reid, not too joyful in that interview, guys. Not too joyful in that interview. Let's see what we got coming up now. The co-founder of Axios. This has been pretty big news this morning. Apple and Trump hinted on it on Friday. We covered that little portion of his press conference. But the co-founder of Axios just went on CNBC and talked about how big of a deal Apple's U.S. investment is. Credit Trump's for getting it done. Again, Tim Cook released that this morning. 500 billion. We'll play it. But it creates 20,000 jobs here in the United States instead of
North Carolina,
overseas.
Nevada,
Check this out.
red states, the massive. This Apple announcement this morning, which just popped 6 a.m. Eastern. All the details are up. The lead story on Axios. This is a landmark story for a couple of reasons. One, the effort by the president to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. This is a massive commitment to that. And as we say, this gives Trump the leverage to say to other companies, Apple can do this. Apple is bringing these jobs into the U.S. Apple is investing in the U.S. Why can't you? Why won't you? And the statement out this morning from Apple CEO Tim Cook, talking about being bullish on the future of America, talking about writing a extraordinary new chapter in the history of American innovation. So that's one bucket. Two, there's an incredible footprint for this. This is all across the United States, and it's part of the big story that Axios has been telling, that it's no longer just the coast. Look at where some of these big investments are, the swing states of Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Nevada, red states, the massive investment that you were talking about in Texas, a big innovation lab in Michigan. So a footprint all across the country. And third, if you look at how the U.S. is going to have a sustained recovery, it's going to be about building things, making things, doing that more.
Building things, making things, what we need to do back in this country that we haven't done for quite a while. And I thought tariffs were going to hurt us. This has all happened thanks to tariffs because it's going to cost too much to manufacture overseas. So they're coming back to the United States. What a huge deal. What a lot of jobs, 20,000 jobs. And that is great because there's a lot of folks that are going to be unemployed from the federal government. I don't think Apple would hire those folks. Once you're in a federal government job, you're like, I mean, we always used to make fun of them at my jobs. Like when I actually dealt with a lot of federal our government jobs. I've dealt with the cities, the bus companies like Fresno Area Express, Caltrans, and I got a lot of friends that work for them. And even when they got hired there, they're like, it's hard, man. Like if you're on your break, you can't even do one thing. If there's a fire alarm goes off, you're like, I'm on break. I ain't grabbing that fire extinguisher. So good deal for Apple. For those of you that didn't know this, remote work, Lee Zeldin tweeted this out. Remote work ends today. Those who've been out of the office for years are required to return back to the office. And I'll be looking for some updates on that. But think about it. Since COVID, those people haven't had to come back to work. They haven't had to really do a whole lot on their jobs. They're a little worried now, obviously, as Trump and Elon and the gang, all the new department heads and everything looks to streamline the process while letting go of thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of federal employees that you and me pay for. And, you know, I know there's a lot of scare tactics out there. A lot of people saying, hey, this is really bad. This is going to destroy the country. And in 7 to 8 months, you won't even feel it. Unless you were one of those remote workers, huh? But you won't even feel it. We actually got a video coming up here in a minute about one of those remote workers crying on CNN because it seems like every day CNN has to kind of do what they've done for quite a while is tug at the heartstrings. And this one was actually funny and whiny at the same time because this one is complaining about the email. Only 48 hours to respond to Elon's email. What did you get done last week? And it said, if you don't respond by Monday at midnight or 11:59 p.m., we'll consider that as your resignation. I loved it. I don't know about you, but let's listen to this one.
First, just tell us about this email and what it was like receiving it and what you all have talked about after getting it.
Sure. I got this email Saturday afternoon, about 3 p.m., and I felt absolutely infuriated getting this email with a demand within 48 hours to provide a response on what I did within the last week or face termination This is clearly an attempt from Elon Musk to harass and bully and intimidate the federal workforce, which is part of his broader plan to gut the federal workforce and privatize public sector services to ensure that corporations like his own can get more profit. And that makes me really angry, my coworkers as well.
First, just tell us about.
That makes
just
me
tell.
really angry. My coworkers as well. Imagine that. Having to report what you did. I actually did it last night. I don't know if you guys were seeing it on X. I shared it under somebody else's post. But, you know, I could tell you we did 10 live streams. They equaled about 20 something hours. We did a lot of other things. We worked on, just common sense. We worked on the website. We worked on this. It's not hard to say what you did as long as you're putting in the hours. And these federal workers, unfortunately, are not used
this
to
email
accountability. And accountability's coming, regardless of what federal judges say, regardless about whatever anybody else says. Here's Rep. Tim Burchett on Elon's email. Take a listen to this.
They haven't done much. They're mad, but
what's your reaction to challenging federal employees on their accomplishments and how that's now being asked to thousands, tens of thousands of people across the country through social media?
I think it's a great idea. You do it in private. The time you have to have accountability. You have to show your work. You have to show what you've done. And now we're saying the federal government should do the same. And some folks are upset about it. Obviously, they're upset because they can't show what they've done because they probably haven't done much. They're mad because they have to go back to work. I've been contacted by people that are very upset that they have to go back to work because they've moved. They don't even live in the area anymore, but they thought they could work from home. And, you know, the post-COVID days are over. We need to get people back to work. We need to show what they're doing, and we need to show the efficiencies of government, which have not been done in quite some time.
What's your reaction to challenging federal employees on their accomplishments? Your reaction.
People that moved away thought they were going to ride the gravy train forever, guys. Now, I know in some remote work that happens quite a bit, but when you think it's a federal job, and I'll give you an example here in a minute. These folks, as Trump will say here coming up in a minute, we don't even know if they're there. We don't know if they're working. We don't know if they're working another job, what they are putting in. So this is a good question to ask. And I'll tell you one thing that frustrated a lot of local residents here. So we're about 2.5 hours away from San Francisco. And when this COVID thing hit and many people began working remotely at Google and everything else, we seen an influx of people that came from the Bay Area. They were now working remotely. They only had to go up to San Francisco like every 2 weeks or once a month to check in and do their business work there. And so I talked to one of the builders. We built this. I don't know. I don't like them, but they're 3-story apartment complexes. They're in a very nice neighborhood. And most of those, I think it was 70% of those out of this entire complex was taken up by what we call Bay Area transplant remote workers. So these people came, they voted San Francisco in a hellscape with their policies. They wanted to defund the police, and then they cried when it came time to call the police and want somebody to, my car's been broken into 3 times this year. It was just absolutely hysterical for those that were on the outside looking in. And those people came in here, and over 70% of this complex, and it's a nice complex. And you got to think about it. Let's say this complex is $3,000 a month for this same style apartment, condo, if you will, in San Francisco, anywhere near where they worked in the Silicon Valley. That probably would have been somewhere in the neighborhood of $9,000 to $12,000. And, that's one thing. If you're with a private company and they say, hey, you just got to come here once a month, once every 2 weeks, That's great. But when it's the federal government, and this was all supposed to be temporary, this was work from home, this 15 days to slow the spread, folks. And here we are years down the road, and these employers are still trying to get kickbacks and benefits. Now, I'll talk about Trump here in 1 second, but yeah, let's pull up Trump now, and then we will do an ad read. Check this out.
Do you think that DOGE could benefit from more streamlined communications? There was that email telling employees to give 5 things that they've done last week. Agency heads then told people to ignore it.
You're talking about the last email that was sent where he wanted to know what you did this week. You know why he wanted that, by the way? I thought it was great because we have people that don't show up to work and nobody even knows if they work for the government. So by asking the question, tell us what you did this week, what he's doing is saying, are you actually working? And then if you don't answer, like you're sort of semi-fired or you're fired, because a lot of people are not answering because they don't even exist. They're trying to find, that's how badly various parts of our government were run by, and especially by this last group. So what they're doing is they're trying to find out who's working for the government. Are we paying other people that aren't working? And, you know, where is all this? Where's the money gone? We have found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud so far, and we've just started. We're actually going to Fort Knox to see if the gold is there, because maybe somebody stole the gold, tons of gold. So I think it was actually, there was a lot of genius in sending it. We're trying to find out if people are working. And so we're sending a letter to people. Please tell us what you did last week. If people don't respond, it's very possible that there is no such person or they're not working.
Makes perfect sense, especially with our government. And Democrats are upset with this. Democrats are saying, oh, I can't believe this is going on. I can't believe they would do this. Again, Democrats want big government. They want waste, abuse, and fraud. We've seen it time and time again, and we got some great polling coming up. But first, let me pull this up right here. Boom. Pull up. There we go. Are you ready to show your support and style? Sticker Mule has a fantastic offer just for you for a limited time. You can grab free Trump stickers. Yes, you heard that right. Free Trump stickers. Whether you want to decorate your laptop, car, office space, these high quality, durable stickers are perfect for making a statement. Just imagine how great they'll look, and they're super easy to apply. Here's how it works. Head over to stickerpack.com. That's STICERPAC.com. Sign up and claim your free stickers and watch the fun unfold. Don't miss out on this exclusive offer. Stock is limited, so act fast, spread the word, and let your voice be heard with Sticker Mule's awesome stickers. Once again, visit stickerpack.com today and grab your free Trump stickers before they're gone. So check them out, guys. Run over there, get them for free. One thing they missed is on your drink cups too. That's popular. So let's take a look at some of these things that we've been talking about. I don't know if we're not going to play that one. Let's see. I'm going to skip that one too. Oh, maybe not. All right. So check this out. So Democrats have you believe that America is outraged about DOGE, that they just don't see how we can expect efficiency from our government. They've lied to you saying it was about cutting Social Security and Medicare. That's the only reason they want to know if there's an employee getting paid that's not working. And it has a pretty big effect. When you think hundreds of thousands of employees, now you know why the union is fighting. Each one of those employees pay dues. And think about it. Hundreds of thousands of employees no longer paying dues. Think about what that's doing to the union. That is such great news. But listen to Amy Klobuchar here on one of our favorite shows here.
Yeah.
The Old
part
Hag
of this
View.
is you got to
Listen
look at
this.
what's going on. But chaos is up, corruption is up, and costs are up. And like you said, ask anyone in the egg aisle.
Yeah.
And part of this is you got to look at what's going on. He and Elon Musk, they're looking for money everywhere.
Yes.
And they are literally, costs are going up for you Well, they're giving the tax cuts to the rich friends.
Corporate profits.
And they're looking for money to do that. And it's really important we make that case to people. Because as you noted, they always talk about other people, but you are the other people. And instead of, helping you with childcare costs and making that more affordable, they decided to go out and help the people that committed violent crimes in the United States Capitol and give them pardons. And instead of doing something to make your getting a house more affordable for your kids, they decided to go out and try to buy Greenland when it's not even for sale. So those are the cases we have to make.
Man,
But
so again, that's their talking points. Again, I thought, and maybe I was wrong. I think I told you guys, how long are they going to continue talking about J6? For years, we heard about it every morning. Every morning, we've seen a video on CNN or MSNBC. I know most of you don't turn that trash on. I have to for news reporting purposes. The only reason that I do like watching The View, guys. If you're ever having a bad day, turn on The View, because your life is not as miserable as those old hags on there. Kind of gives you a little like, maybe it's not so bad after all. Like you pinch your finger and then you see somebody with no arm. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Jan Garner, thank you so much for the Rumble chat. It says, challenge for Josh for a new computer. We cannot have him not being able to do up to date. Thanks, Josh, for your hard work. Come on, guys. We could do this. Thank you so much. KLM79 says challenge accepted. And there was one more up here that I just missed. I seen it pop up. Jay keeps asking. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. We are 100% viewer funded. We do fight cancel culture still yet. Maybe that'll change with some of the things we're going to talk about with the FBI director. I'm actually getting a letter ready to send in regards to Facebook and YouTube for cutting us off for speaking the truth. But I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot that we can even stay on the air as long as we have. And with our travels and everything, you guys support us. I was thinking about doing a fundraiser, believe it or not, I was telling Rachel like 2 weeks ago, it's done its purpose. This thing has tens of thousands of hours of either live stream or restream or something like this. This goes all the way back to before we even started Oreo Express. But I want to say thank you. If you guys do want to help out and contribute to the bills or anything, we appreciate it. You can donate by going to Venmo at Oreo Josh, givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024, or Cash App $Oreo Army. There's also a Zelle link on our website. Our website is theoreoexpress.com, and then just scroll down a little and you'll see donate now. So again, the Democrats are spending a lot of their time saying, hey, this is all for the rich. Yet there's no proof of that. What they're saying is during the Biden administration, real wages went down. Prices went up. All she had was eggs. Well, let's see, dummy. Biden killed off all the chickens. I wonder why we don't have no eggs. And it's going to take some time to get everything back to normal. And again, no other prices, unless you live in California, have risen. Our gas prices went up like 38 cents, and they're expected to go up more because of new regulations. So I think our gas prices are average here probably about $4.39 to $4.49 a gallon again. Again, Democrat policies. We've already talked about the gas and electric rates here. But what are the American people? I mean, that
corruption is up.
We've seen Democrats not be able to hit the nail on the head numerous times. They try to do fear tactics. Oh, J6ers, the violent J6ers, and all this other stuff. It's done. It's in the past. Nobody really cares. If I go talk to 15 of my neighbors, nobody would even care what you're saying right now. What they would want to say is we want to get our prices down. The Joe Biden prices, we know it's going to take time to fix, but we want to see those start coming down a little bit. Here's a new Harvard Harris poll. Let me increase the size of this and I'll show you. Then there's another poll I'd like to show you and talk about. Take a look at this. This is from In Wokeness. Trump approval rating, 52%. Trump disapproval, 43%. 58 say he is doing better than Biden, 58%, so a majority. 81 support deporting criminal aliens. 76 support eliminating fraud and waste. 76 support closing the U.S. border. 70% support merit-based hiring. You're a man and you dress as a woman, you got the job, kind of like the last administration, kind of like the DEI we've seen going on for a while now. 61% support reciprocal tariffs, and 60% think DOGE is helping. Look at those numbers. We played for you last week when Hakeem Jeffries was up there trying to do his spiel, and it was like CNN that said, well, wait a second. The American people don't agree with you. And they don't know reciprocal tariffs. You know, Democrats are having a problem with this. Oh, because guess what? Just like Democrats want everybody on the government tit here in the United States, they want you on welfare. They want you to be dependent on the government. We need a government that you're not dependent on, that you can go out and get a good paying job, that you don't have to have. Oh, let me see what's going on here. I got to wait for my food stamps in order to eat because everything's so expensive. Because guess what? When I go get a job, I can't take care of my family. And that's where Biden put us. Remember, under the last Trump economy, people were happy. People didn't even know how happy they are until Biden got into office. And that includes many Democrats. But check out some other polling we got here. This was shared by Libs of TikTok. This new poll is absolutely devastating to the Democrats. DOGE is extremely popular by huge margins. You know, I'm going to have to say, you guys know when I go out shopping, whatever, I have my MAGA hat on or a shirt that says still waiting for that white privilege, which you can get on our website. And so it brings conversation to me. 90% good. Other 10% I kind of like a little more, and I think you guys know that. But these people are ecstatic about what they're seeing on the news, and these Democrats crying. Let me pull this up here. Take a look. Okay, 2 in 3 voters say the federal government's debt is unsustainable, and over 4 in 5 say they should work to balance the budget. It says, do you believe the current levels of the U.S. federal government debt is sustainable? I don't know who the 33% are that said yes, but that's insane. Do you think the U.S. government should move in the next few years to balance the budget, or is that unrealistic and should it continue to run a significant deficit? 83% say they should move to balance the budget. Let's see what this one says. An overwhelming, this is the Harvard-Harris poll. An overwhelming majority of voters say the government should reduce government expenses over increasing taxes, and a full examination of expenditures is needed. It says, to reduce the budget deficits, do you think we mostly need to reduce government expenditures or to increase taxes? 83%, folks, said to cut government. Do you think that we are in need of a full examination of all government expenditures, or should we not get in the way of current contracts and expenditures? Now, we've seen this. And why is this a question that's very relevant? Because we've seen Democrats sue Trump for cutting off circumcisions, like 10 million for circumcisions in other countries. And the Americans hear that and they're like, what the? And so it says current contracts and expenditures, 77, almost 8 in 10 people disagree with Democrats. 8 in 10 people disagree with Democrats. Once again, let me pull this up. Let's see. Do you think the government expenditures are basically fair and reasonable, or do you think they are filled with waste, fraud, and inefficiency? 77 in 10, They're filled with waste, fraud, and inefficiency. So like Amy Klobuchar going on The View and trying to talk to the ignorant audience that The View has, the bonbon eating people that are at home at 10 a.m., not because they're retired, not because it's their day off, because they probably live off the government. They eat this stuff up quicker than the bonbons. It says, do you support or oppose the goal of cutting $1 trillion of government expenditures? 69%. So 70% says yes. 7 in 10 once again. Most voters agree with having the government agency dedicated to efficiency. It says, do you think there should be a U.S. government agency focused on efficiency initiatives or not? 72%, more than 7 out of 10 people say yes. Do you think the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk, is helping make major cuts in government expenditures? 6 in 10, 60% says yes. So there's your answers. That's not a Fox News poll. Again, that is a Harvard Caps Harris poll. I think you guys would agree. What do we got here? Bagel Boy, blessings. Thank you so much, Bagel Boy. Appreciate your support. God bless y'all. Thank you so much for that. We can't do it without you guys. Think about this for a minute. And I get it. We have differences of opinion. And I come from an era where Democrats and Republicans, I come from an era where there wasn't much difference. There was some really big policy difference, but for the most, and we've even played the videos like the Bill Clinton era where illegals need to be deported. You shouldn't come in here. We don't want people wasting money. We want to cut down the government. Remember, Bill Clinton was the first DOGE guy. We played that video, I think, the beginning of last week. But we've separated so far from where we have like a pro-America group, which is the conservatives, and I won't even say Republicans, because you got people that identify with Republicans that either are infiltrators or just want to destroy the Republican Party because they hate us, like the Keynesianers and people like that. And then you got like the Marxist, like these people that have been brainwashed, the old school hippies that are sitting there and they're saying, guess what, guys? Guess what? We care about other countries more than we care about citizens of the United States. And we're gonna keep moving forward. And we want all this aid going to other countries. While roads are falling apart, bridges are falling down, homeless is at the highest number it's ever been at in the United States. And me and Rachel were driving around, I think it was Saturday night. We stopped to get some food. And so we live in Clovis, but we're not too far from Fresno. We're like 3/4 of a mile from a Walmart market, you know, one of the smaller Walmarts that's in Fresno. And I took a different way in and I looked and Rachel goes, oh my gosh. And we look over and I was like, wow, so close to home. Because in Clovis, again, we pay good tax dollars. Our police do their job. You're not going to be homeless. You're not going to be a nuisance to businesses in Clovis. That is not allowed. We've never allowed that. Once you make a phone call, things happen. Little different than Fresno, right? But we look over there and there's like 5 or 6 shopping carts. They're all full with all kind of junk. There's beer bottles stranded out in the parking lot. And I hadn't noticed that before. And it's just recently because the furniture store right there closed down, it looks like. I wasn't even aware it closed down. And then you have people laying under sleeping bags. And so yesterday I had to go get buns. We barbecued hamburgers last night. And so I drove back by again and I was like, oh, still bad. And I park and sure enough, here you have one of those people walking through. It was a nice 73-degree day, just in case Matt's in here. We're struggling here with this sunny and 73, Matt. I don't know what to do. And he's going through with like a blanket and then a sleeping bag over him, just going through, looking in the cars there. And I'm just like, we're focused on other countries. We're focused on circumcision. We're focused on drag shows in other countries. Transgender drag shows in other countries. And our people need counseling and mental health services and rehab. That would fix 90% of your homeless right now. 90% of your homeless. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So we're going to move on a little bit here. Where are we at? We are already 40 minutes in. So what are Democrats doing? They did this over the weekend. If you follow us on X at Oreo Express, you've seen us expose their hoopla. So now what they're doing, they're organizing groups. They had Bernie Sanders go in a couple different places and speak, and it was Bernie Sanders' largest crowd. So what Democrats are doing right now is they want the optics. They want when Trump came to town and there was a 3-mile long line to see Trump. Oh, that's no big deal. Yeah, we're not even going to cover that. But now they're covering things. Republican Rep Mark Alford. Now, what are they saying? They're saying that Mark's constituents are upset with him, that they voted for him, and they're going to vote him out because they don't want Elon Musk there. They don't want the whole DOGE operation. Now, anybody that voted for a conservative is not upset, or votes conservatively is not upset for this. So what they are doing, once again, is the same thing they did for Kamala Harris, getting outsiders to come in and chant stuff in town halls. I want you to watch this one and listen to, and you guys already know. Again, they say constituents. They don't say Republicans because they know Republicans don't do this. Take a listen to this.
Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey. Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey. Elon Musk has got to go. Hey, hey.
So, as you can see, his actual constituents and the people that voted for him are inside, being calm, not trying to disrupt the town hall. If you look outside, what do you see? The same leftist organizations with their what is that? Palestinian flags. Again, and I can, if you look a little bit, very similar to most Democrat movements, like 99% white. These liberals that hate America, that's what you see outside. But they want you to believe that Mark's constituents are just absolutely extremely upset with Trump and Elon Musk, and they're going to vote him out of office. They want this for optics. So what they will do is they will take videos like this, and they will run ad campaigns. And unfortunately, there is people that fall for it. Not as many as, say, 4 years ago, especially since Elon Musk has bought X, and we can actually get the truth and the real news that's not highlighted with fake news Facebook or any of the other Marxist platforms like YouTube. So this was just great. So we just had a poll go in. They support a majority. And if you say 7 in 10, that includes Democrats too. Take a look at this. This is how out of touch. And when I watched this video, I was like, how bad this country has truly gotten, that when I was a kid, there was no way somebody like this would be able to hold elected office. So let's pull up Miss Hamas.
These people are just idiots. I really, I'm at the point where it's become really hard to have an intellectual debate with any of these people, because the level of stupidity that they are displaying every single day is frankly embarrassing. In Congress, but as Americans, and the fact that these people are allowed to say just the most ridiculous things tells you that the dumbing of the United States has arrived, because how else do we get a Trump presidency again?
So she's calling you guys dumb. Listen.
People are just idiots.
You're idiots. You're stupid. Because why? You want to put America first? She wants to put jihadist terrorists first. So you're an idiot and you're stupid. We just went through 4 years of Biden where it was absolute chaos. Nothing went better. We had multiple wars. Hell, The people she supports don't even have rubble to call home anymore under Joe Biden. And she doesn't get it. She doesn't get it, folks. I think, again, this is somebody who married her brother to get to illegally immigrate here in the United States. And I hope there's some true investigations. Back in the 50s, the 60s, if you were a member of Congress and you were actively working against the United States, things would be done. And we need to get back to those things that would be done. This is just ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. And they're not even hiding it. They haven't hid it for a while. I mean, they're outright calling anybody that loves America and loves a secure border and loves their community safe as idiots. That's what an idiot is. Interesting. Before we get in the next one, guys, let me put this up here for my animal lovers, for my animals. If you have a dog, we've all been there. Our pup goes from full of energy to sick out miserable in an instant and to the worst times. Then we're calling the vets in the middle of the night or on the weekends trying to find a clinic that will take us in. It's a terrible way to manage your dog's health, not to mention your stress levels and your monthly budget. That's why people are getting Pet Emergency Kit by Positive. It contains critical medications and supplies that can not only keep you out of the veterinary office, but may even save your dog's life. Their kits contain critical medication like activated charcoal, styptic powder, and more. It might save your dog's life. Head over to positive.com and use code STUDIO to get 15% off your pet emergency kit. That's code STUDIO at positive.com, PAWSITIVE.com, guys. So check them out. I know we got a lot of animal lovers in here. So what else is going on in America when it comes to the blatant hate, the blatant bigotry, the blatant racism? Well, let me show you.
Bow tie shinning. I feel bad for them coons. I feel bad for them coons in the White House who are in there tap dancing for massa, wearing bow ties, shinning and grinding, laughing like nothing is funny. I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
Listen to what this, I won't call him a preacher, but this man, he has a Black Lives Matter fist on the pulpit with a cross in the hand.
I feel bad for them coons in the White House.
Feel bad for the coons in the White House. So he does not like blacks who think for themselves and really who don't want to be a slave to the Democrat Party. Let's see what the Democrat Party has done for blacks. The party of the KKK, the party of Margaret Sanger, who literally a genocide of black babies through Planned Parenthood. Think about this for a second, folks. Think about this. This is what this congregation is hearing. Nothing godly about this. Nothing biblical about this. You want to talk about transgenderism? There's a lot to talk about that's biblical. You want to talk about the LGBT community? Pretty clear in the Bible. You want to talk about the lazy people in the world that are living off taxpayers? Pretty biblical. All the things that you could talk about that's destroying this country, you could talk about at the pulpit. But this, pretty much calling black folks that think for themselves, black folks that just want to get back to somewhat of a normal America, calling them coons. Woo-wee. Man, we see some stuff on here, don't we? So that was Atlanta megachurch pastor Jamal Bryant, calling them coons and runaway slaves. We've seen all this before in 2016, so it's not anything that should be surprising. Man, I don't know how many of you guys seen this, but was we talk and we sold, I might have to pull this shirt down from our website. It said FBI and it said Fascist Bureau of Intimidation, because that's what the FBI became under President Trump. I mean, under President Biden. Under President Trump, they're trying to go back to law and order. They're trying to not chase down parents at school board meetings. If you're out exercising your First Amendment right at, say, an abortion center, you shouldn't have your home raided by 9 to 16 officers and be tried for the FACE Act for just standing on a sidewalk. But Biden's administration, their FBI, their DOJ, did just that. Well, yesterday, the announcement came out, guys. Dan Bongino, given the position of Deputy Director of the FBI. Now, I didn't go through there. I think most of you know what Dan Bongino has said. I think you know where he stands on the deep state. I think you know where he stands on Adam Schiff. I think you know where he stands on the traitorous FBI agents that would even walk into Mar-a-Lago and do a raid on a president, an ex-president, because that's the orders. I just want to play this right here. This was Dan Bongino this morning. He opened up on his talk show, the Dan Bongino Show. Take a listen.
I'm sitting there. I was watching a show. I didn't even know what I was watching. All right. How do you start today's show? No, I howl. Jasmine's sitting there kind of laughing. Like, what do you say? Hey, guys, Monday morning. Well, let me give you a weekend update. Quite the weekend update. Kind of probably the most interesting weekend update ever. And the interesting thing about this weekend update is producer Jim, at least on the radio show, is not going to have to run the let's take a brief interlude into Dan's personal life, because my personal life is no longer personal. Folks, I'm sure by now you've heard the news. Wait, do I have it? Oh, no, I already took it. Sorry. Someone gave me the man card, gave me like an actual man card one day. Like it's a little, looks like a credit card, kind of a joke, obviously. So let me just turn that in right now because this may be a little bit emotional, and let me apologize in advance. I was home last night, and I'm sitting there. I was watching a show. I didn't even know what I was watching. Food That Built America or something like that. And I was falling asleep because it had been a really long day. Now you know why. And some of you kind of understand why the show had a different tone over the last couple of weeks. And I got a call from the president, and it couldn't have been nicer. And I obviously keep the contents of it between us, but I think you get the gist about what it was about. And kind of broke down a bit because it was, this is now real. So President Attorney General Bondi and now Director, gosh, that sounds good to say, FBI Director Akash Patel offered this role, a role I expressed an interest in. And ladies and gentlemen, I told you, you see, it's hard for me. I'm going to accept the role proudly as the Deputy Director, the number 2 spot at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Folks, it's a lot to walk away from. I will tell you everything what happened. Within reason, and then I got a show to do, and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen with the show. So it's going to be a pretty wild ride today. Man, do we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to play for you in the beginning, too, a speech I gave that someone sent to me from 11 years ago, and you'll see why I decided to make this decision. So a lot to do today. thank you so much for kind of a big audience here right away out of the shoot. So thank you very much. I love you guys. And Bongino Army out there, I hope you understand. I got a couple of negative comments. Dan, you should have let us know. I hope you understand about this. This is not you do not ever get ahead of the President of the United States, the Attorney General, and the Director of the FBI. You don't do that. Not when you take positions like that. It's not the right thing to do. So now you understand.
Man, this is going to be epic when you talk about the Epstein client list, when you talk about Adam Schiff, when you talk about all those folks that Dan Bongino has talked about, the deep state, the folks that have undermined Trump, even in what we would consider our own party, the conservative party. And now you have Dan Bongino up there. I'm going to tell you, we've had some good shows. I've had some shows that I go back to. I was looking through last night when I was looking for a picture. I met Dan Bongino. And I was telling my sister about this a couple weeks ago when she was over about meeting him. And I said, you know what? It was at Politicon. I think it was 2018. He was down there at Politicon. And what a gracious man. What a humble man. There was a lot of people there. Some of them thought their shit didn't stink. Bottom line. Not Dan. I sat there and probably had a 4-minute conversation with him. Introduced myself, sat there, and we were just talking back and forth 4 to 5 minutes. And I was like, man, this guy's humble. I never, if I ever get that big, I never want to be anything but humble. I'm never going to shine on people or act like when you're out in public, like, oh, I'm going to hide from you. I think you guys know we're absolutely the opposite. We'll be on the ground with you, actually. And Pixie, yes, I did say it. And yes, and when we think about how the panic, Adam Schiff, like I tweeted last night, what do you think Adam Schiff is doing tonight? Pencil neck, because he's not sleeping. There is some very worried people. Another thing we want to talk about that we'll maybe get some information on, the J6 pipe bombings. Are pipe bombs, not bombings, pipe bombs that the FBI really didn't care about. I told you guys the first time the FBI came to my house, it was about like 14 to 16 days after January 6th. They contacted me. I contacted a lawyer. The lawyer says, just pretty much said how to handle them. I said, yeah, you guys can come on over. They came over. And the reason why they said they were coming is we have a picture of a suspect that dropped the... Jay keeps asking, says swear jar. Don't do that or I'm going to be swearing a lot more. And I can't. Thank you, Jay keeps asking. And so they showed up at the house and they were here for like 37 minutes, I think. And you could tell where they were trying to lead me. They were bringing up, well, what about this group, the Proud Boys? And I was like, how does this have anything whatsoever to do with the pipe bombing suspect that you say you had a picture? Oh, that's right. And the guy starts fumbling. So the FBI agent, the male was from Fresno. The female, he was playing good cop. The female from Los Angeles was playing bad cop. She was playing stupid bad cop. And I said, what does any of this have to do with, oh, you know what? Let me look for, oh, you know what? I think I left that picture on the desk. And I was like, all right, so we're good then? We're done here? And they ended up leaving. They never contacted me again to say, hey, you were down there the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. Did you recognize this guy? Because they were just using it as an excuse. And there's so much video now that's been released with January 6th that the whole pipe bomb thing looks like a setup. We're gonna be seeing a lot of interesting stuff. Just to give you guys an update, we don't have a whole lot of time to cover it. We're an hour into the show, but just to let you know, as Democrats are still trying to sue, the unions are still trying to sue Trump from making us a efficient government and efficiently being good stewards of our tax dollars. It says Judge Deborah Boardman has blocked the Education Department and the OPM from sharing data with DOGE, citing privacy violations. And let me show you that, Judge, really quick. It'll come back in our favor. That's a promise. It says this is the same judge who blocked Trump's birthright citizenship order and who barred DOGE from reviewing government contracts. These are those leftist judges that they go out and they shop. They're like, oh, good, it's going to land in her desk. And but you know what's funny is I heard over the weekend too, we talked about it on Friday about budgets. And I'm a firm believer that if you get if you are physically able, and I'm not talking by faking it or saying you have long COVID or something like this, if you are physically able to go do any hobbies, go live any life whatsoever, then you are physically able to go work part-time if you want any government benefits. And this was a Fox News article, and I absolutely love it. It says, escape poverty. Millions more food stamp recipients required to work under new House GOP proposal. That's what I'm talking about. This brings me back to the old DOGE days. And when I say the old DOGE days, President Clinton, the welfare reform, you shouldn't be doing absolutely nothing and having the government take care of you. I've heard the argument and I've seen the leftists. Well, what if they have 3 kids under 3 years old? Close your damn legs. Close your damn legs. You can't afford your kids. If you can't feed them, don't breed them. It's that simple. And then they bring up, well, then they should legalize abortion. No, you shouldn't be able to murder something just because somebody was irresponsible. And somebody who can't get off their ass to work can go around town spreading their legs. No, that's not how it works. I went gangster there, didn't I, for a minute? We need to have some personal responsibility in this country. And that is what we are doing now. And good job on that. What else do I have here? Oh, hold on. This one's messed up. Ooh, this one's really messed up. This was one that's kind of interesting. So there's been a lot of threats to Elon Musk and President Trump. Where'd it go? Let me see if I can find it really quick because you guys will like this one. What is it? My CPU's at 68%. Let's see if it'll find it. But it's just great. These people, there's a lot on here. So there was I want to play this video. And this person who admits she hasn't filed taxes in 8 years calls for Elon to be assassinated. She's literally putting this stuff out here for the public saying, I haven't filed taxes in 8 years. Probably not a smart thing to do. Again, and I'm not a big fan of taxes. Not a big fan of taxes. I'm a big fan of tariffs. Take a listen to this.
I would avoid. I promised myself I would avoid the news. But obviously I haven't. Here's my one thought. I mean, I have many thoughts. Elon Musk, like, we need to X him. And by X, I mean formerly known as assassination. I know someone from FBI is going to fucking show up. I don't. Arrest me. You don't have enough people to even investigate me at this point. I haven't filed my taxes in like 8 years. And yet, no one's covered me. So
I think that was, there's just some things, and I say a lot online, but just some things that are a little bit more stupid than others. And Nobody's came for her is what she said. Now let's take a look at this and see who responded to her video. Check this out. This video was posted by Libs of TikTok, and U.S. Attorney Ed Martin says, duly noted. Thanks for letting us know. We'll put you in the system. Talk soon, ma'am. Hashtag no one is above the law. This should make everybody's day. This is absolutely epic. This is beyond epic. Duly noted. Thanks for letting us know. We'll put you in the system. I mean, this is something like Pissant. You know, Pissant's stupid. He says so much on his live streams that always come back and haunt him because he just wants to talk. He wants people to, he's lonely. This was great. I can't believe U.S. Attorney Ed Martin said, duly noted, thanks for letting us know. We'll put you in the system. So I have a feeling she's probably going to be filing taxes pretty soon because of a court order. So when we talk about DOGE, we've talked about how positive the polling's been from Americans out on the streets. I still want to get out on the streets here pretty soon and do some street interviews like we've done and see what the average everyday person is. Remember, when we went to Hollywood, a very liberal area of Hollywood, back in October, right before the November elections, we were like, damn, Trump's winning. Trump's winning. We need to go out there and figure out what's going on with the sentiment over Trump and what he's doing. Department of Government Efficiency tweeted this today. Agencies often have more software license than employees, and the licenses are often idle, paid for, but not installed on any computer. For example, at the GSA, with 13,000 employees, there are 37,000 WinZip licenses, 19,000 training software subscriptions, and multiple training software platforms, 7,500 project management software seats for division with 5,500 employees, and 3 different ticketing systems running in parallel. Again, this is what we want to find. The government has ran out of control for a very long time. Yes, they were running out of control in Trump's last presidency. They were running in your favorite president. It doesn't matter if it was Reagan, if it was Bush, if it was Clinton, if it was Obama. This was very constant. Nobody looked into it. It's just known as government. And now we are changing that. And I can tell you these licenses are not cheap. I used to, again, you know, I have a purchasing background. I come from the supply chain. When I was the purchasing manager at one of these companies, one of my thing was to audit what money's going out. And these licenses are so expensive sometimes in businesses. You're like, man, can they share a terminal? Can they share a terminal for a while? Because if you have 2 people sharing a terminal, that's 1 less license you have to buy. And so the Department of Government Efficiency is going to be canceling all those extras. And then when it comes to and this one's sad, folks. I hope you're sitting down for this one. The NSA. This was been going around everywhere. I looked at it. I've confirmed it. This post here is from Libs of TikTok. It says NSA's secret transgender sex chat room exposed. Yes, you've heard it correctly. NSA's secret transgender sex room exposed. Intel employees from NSA, CIA, DIA used government servers to discuss genital castration, piss fetishes, gangbangs, and polyamory, all under the guise of DEI. This is what DEI truly is. This is what's allowed with your tax dollars. You're paying all these employees to talk about gangbangs and piss fetishes. And this is what Democrats are defending now. Think about that. You can't make this up. It says one NSA employee even identifies as it's instead of human. It says NSA's Interlink system meant for classified work was hijacked by gender activists putting fetish talk on taxpayer time. Think I'm joking? Here's the screenshots, and I know they won't be too easy for you to read, but this one right here, I mean, honestly, the rest is nice too. Wearing panties without worrying about anything showing, seeing my reflection in the mirror, wearing leggings. But the pee thing is something I never thought of, but it's really nice. Go through some other ones. These people, this is, again, highly classified CIA, NSA employees. This is what you are paying for. It's just sex talk. Depends on where you go. For the lower body, I went to Milan, which is significantly more expensive for face. I paid roughly $1,000 total. Talking about trying to pretend to be something they're not. So probably a man trying to be a woman. What else is in here? Just all this stuff. And I'm going to pull this up again, and I'm going to read this to you one more time. This is NSA's secret transgender sex chat room. These employees are being paid for by you, folks. Think about all the stuff that's been exposed in 35, 34, 35, 36 days? I mean, it shouldn't shock anybody. Look at the people that were invited to the White House. Men pretending to be women, all this stuff. They were promoted like it was normal. And let me tell you, it's not. Just absolutely insane. What else do we got? When it comes to the cuts, this one was pretty good. Trump aid freeze. This was from the Yorkshire Lass. It says breaking LGBTQ charity Stonewall UK, not the United States. Stonewall UK have lost their funding as a result of Trump's U.S. aid freeze. This could force the trans charity to cut over half its staff. Workers at the LGBTQ plus charity were told on Thursday that restructuring would take place and that only roles with dedicated funding would be safe. There's the article right there. More winning. What was our tax dollars going? And again, why would our fat tax dollars go to the UK to fund an LGBTQ charity? I'm sorry. If people want to support it, and here's the facts, folks. All these Democrats are saying we need to support it with your own money. Because what we are seeing right now is you won't put your money where your mouth is, but you'll put my money there. That's what we're seeing so far. You'll spend other people's money, just not your own. And it's ridiculous. So yesterday, if you guys seen, I put Crybaby Fanone on the front page of the pre-screening video for this. It was absolutely epic. Michael Fanone is the former DC police officer traitor who lied under oath and lied to the J6 committee. His lies, and Harry Dunn's and many others helped keep a lot of our J6 political prisoners, aka some of them heroes, kept them behind bars. We know that Trump pardoned them because they didn't get a fair trial. Again, video evidence shows this. When you have an officer saying this is what happened, and you have video evidence showing quite the opposite, and Democrats are saying, no, we're not going to investigate this. It was the J6 sham committee. Well, one of those people that were pardoned, was, hold on, where'd it go? Why is he doing this? Hold on one second. Give me a second. So it was Enrique Tarrio. I think he had 22 and a half years. He already served 5.5 months for a crime of burning a $3 flag. We were out there in DC that night. You guys probably remember that live stream. We were out there with the folks going around. Well, they went over. So Democrats were having their Crimea River Summit with Harry Dunn, Adam Kinzinger, Michael Fanone, like the list of the reason Democrat sucks were all there. I think Dan Goldman, they were all there speaking. And so some of the patriots showed up there, and one of those people obviously was Enrique Tarrio, calling out the liar. We're going to show you that video and show you how this organization lied in a major way. But let's watch the video first.
You guys are brave.
You guys are assholes. No? So please just back off.
You know who's an asshole? Somebody that says in my sentencing, last one, I got sentenced to 22 years. That's an asshole. You were brave on Twitter, and you was brave on my sentencing, and you were laughing when I got 22 years. And now you don't even want to look my way, you pretend I'm not here, right? Yeah, keep it walking. Keep walking. Come on, go.
You guys are traitors. Just back off.
This is certainly fun. Why did you miss out?
You guys were brave on the sentencing. You sat there, you laughed when I got 22 fucking years.
You sat there and laughed when I got 22 effing years. After he lied.
Now you don't even want to look in my eyes. You fucking coward. You were a coward that day. You were a coward after.
Just go home. You're a traitor to this country.
Yeah, so are you,
traitor to this country.
You're a fucking traitor.
Fucking traitor to this country.
That's why they fired your ass, and that's why your own people turned on you, piece of shit.
That's why they fired your ass and why your own people turned on you, you piece of...
You fucking boy over here. You fucking failure. Go home. The other one's another fucking failure. A little failure. Run from me, motherfucker. Run from me.
He's not staying in the hotel. He's trespassing.
You fucking piece of shit. Run from me.
Fuck you.
Oh, you can say that while you're over there, motherfucker. You didn't do shit.
Fanone is such a coward, standing behind people, lying again. I honestly, to the most extreme punishment that this country has ever offered somebody legally, that's what Fanone deserves. That's what Michael Dunn deserves. And I do think, especially with pardon or not, there's ways to work around stuff. And I think the Trump administration will do just that. How about the Officer Byrd that killed Ashley Babbitt, an unarmed Air Force veteran? There is going to be justice coming for these people. And I just thought this was great that Enrique Tarrio was there to call him out. If you guys remember, we called him out in, Manhattan, New York. And we're going to get into some of the things. But again, he is now being paid by the same people he lied for. The DNC has been paying him for a while. Remember when people were saying, well, he lost his job and all this. And then we learned all the money going to Michael Byrd. What was it, from the Department of Defense after he killed Ashley Babbitt? I mean, so much funneling of money, very similar to what we're seeing with USAID and some of the other NGOs. Let me pull this up really quick because we know this guy's a crybaby coward. And I love playing this video, to be honest with you. This is, I can't say.
Known the traitor right here, guys. You know who lost their life was Ashley Babbitt. She was murdered, an unarmed veteran. Don't start trying on me, Fanone. Don't start trying on me now. Absolute sellout. Absolute sellout.
You're done. I'll do this.
Traitor to your country.
Traitor to your country, and I will stand by that. And I do think that person will receive some type of justice, whether it's street justice or not. I guarantee that man has to go around knowing how he was any traitor to their country should be a little scared, right? You tried to put innocent men and women behind bars. Remember, we were there. We covered the whole Enrique Tarrio thing. They arrested him when he landed. I think it was at Reagan Airport. They arrested him. He was never at January 6th, but they wanted They were worried about the Proud Boys. They were worried about the 3%ers. They were worried about the Oath Keepers. And why? Because they don't want any group to be able to function and form to protect this Constitution. Because Democrats have actively destroyed what law enforcement was supposed to be. They destroyed the FBI. Now Trump, with his picks, are putting it back together. They destroyed the Department of Justice. Now Trump, with his picks, is putting it back together. These people should be nervous. I would be. If I went to court and lied, and I put one of your family members, one of your father, your brother, your mother, your sister behind bars because I lied and I was part of the true coup, I would be scared. And hopefully these people are. I guess he got brave enough. Michael Fanone got brave enough to do an interview with a friendly, if you will, the people that lie. Take a listen to this.
Midget.
And then we're going to go into the lie that they
Trying to
said.
intimidate us. And I think
That was absolutely slander and defamation,
Harry, myself,
and Enrique Tarrio has a big lawsuit.
Harry, myself, Danny, and Yanel are just here speaking at the Principles First Summit. Doing what we've been doing for the past 4 years, speaking to the people about what happened on January 6th. It's a private event, and we had members of the Proud Boys, a homegrown terrorist organization led by Enrique Tarrio. At least I think he's still the leader. I don't know. But he shows up with a couple of his little goons, Ivan Ranklin, the little bald-headed midget, and try to intimidate us. And I think the message is we will not be intimidated. I will continue to speak out until I am dead and in the grave. And if you want to make a martyr out of me, bring it on.
What did you think of that press conference they held at the Capitol? I saw he got arrested.
I didn't watch it. Dude, it's clown show crap. And you know what, Enrique? If you can't handle somebody putting a camera in your face when you're up there acting like a jackass on the steps to the United States Capitol, you should get out of whatever business you're in. Because the reality is the American people despise you. They see you as a traitor to this nation. They see your organization as a terrorist organization, and they want nothing to do with you. The few followers that you have that you want to sell your Proud Boys swag to, they're a bunch of criminals and nutballs.
And he has so many balls when Enrique and those folks aren't around. He didn't have anything to say to me when I was in his face. He is a coward. Again, justice will be coming. That is a promise. Justice will be coming, and he knows it. He absolutely knows it. Now, check this out here. This is crazy. Listen to what they said that Enrique Tarrio did. And if you guys want to follow Enrique Tarrio, he's at Noble1 on X. Take a listen to this. This happened. Now, this was at the center, the conference area where this was recorded. Listen.
From Enrique Tarrio, leader of the Proud Boys. Bomb.
Hold on one second. I wanted that to go off.
Bomb threat from Enrique Tarrio.
A bomb threat from Enrique Tarrio.
Leader of the Proud Boys.
Proud Boys.
Harassing the families of Fanone, Dunn, Hodges, Capitol Police officers. He's a man who would have been in prison but for Donald Trump's release of him.
Watch me wrong.
The police have secured the bottom floor, and we are going to continue with our summit. And I'll have more to say about this downstairs. But the hotel security, our private security, ensures the building has been secure and is safe to continue. And so when you have a chance, we can now make our way back down to the bottom floor, and we'll continue.
Man, we've seen this play out a couple times. Fake bomb threats. Remember when The Take Our Borders Back convoy was heading to Texas, southern Texas, and it was not too far from Eagle Pass, and they moved all the illegals out of one of the holding things to get the media attention. That's a pretty big. That's pretty big to sit there and state that Enrique Tarrio called in a bomb threat and used his name. But it gets better. It gets better. Check this out. They had to edit their own tweet. It says, attention attendees of the Principal First Summit. We have received a credible bomb threat from Enrique Tarrio, the recently pardoned leader of the Proud Boys, who was sentenced to 22 years in prison for seditious conspiracy and the attack of January 6th. Then they go and edit it. Luckily for screenshots, especially for this, attention attendees, the Principal First Summit. We have received a credible bomb threat from an account claiming to be Enrique Tarrio. And again, they want to continue. They are worried about people like Enrique Tarrio. They're worried about Moms for Liberty. All these different groups that they constantly bash and call racist and violent and everything else, because they know these people that we are winning. Let's look at the last election, all 7 swing states. It's all the hard work from grassroots volunteers, people that put their name on the line, that are called racist, that are called bigots, that are called Nazis, that they want to continue playing. Again, Democrats have doubled down on this. And I find it interesting. Let me see if it's the next one. Enrique Tarrio had some speaking engagements that he's now had to cancel because of what they said. And it says, due to the Principal First statement falsely accusing me of bomb threats, I have received a large amount of credible death threats over the past hour. I have canceled all plans and speaking engagements for the next week. I apologize how this affects the host and attendees of those events. Your tickets will be refunded, Enrique Tarrio. Now we already have, they put it out in a statement. That's pretty big. They not only put it out in a statement to their attendees, they posted it on X like a bunch of idiots. Now he has loss of money, loss of income. There is definitely going to be a big lawsuit here, and I'm hoping he gets a few tens of million. We've seen Trump has won plenty of lawsuits. I'm sure. I know it's been hard for conservatives to get attorneys in the past, but I'm sure he has an attorney, a very good one, that's probably salivating at the mouth right now. But what? Fanone's a little, I won't put another $1 in the tip jar. All right, we're going to move on a little bit. Check this out. As we said before, and we covered in the airports, we've been in multiple airports. We were in the San Diego airport, the San Antonio airport, a couple other airports, showing you guys how these illegals had easier entry into the planes than me and you. Wow. Well, it's finally coming out. More stuff exposed. Thank you. It says, this is an exclusive. This is from Brianna Morella. TSA under Biden focused on speeding up checkpoints for illegal aliens without IDs, not national security. So they didn't have an ID. They wanted to speed them through. It says during the Biden administration, expediting TSA security checkpoints took precedence over national security concerns. Through a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit I filed after TSA stonewalled my initial request, I've exclusively obtained the protocols that allowed illegal aliens to board commercial flights with IDs under Biden's watch. TSA officials claim these documents didn't exist during his tenure, but the Trump administration has since granted me access to this information. On March 26, 2021, think about that. That's 2 months after Joe Biden was inaugurated, right? Yep, March 26, 2021. TSA issued a revised operation directive to address a significant increase in the number of non-U.S. citizens at certain airports who do not have acceptable ID documents. Now, me and you, a taxpayer, somebody that has helped build this country, who has paid into this country, would not have been allowed to fly. But under Biden, illegals who broke into this country were expedited through. It says the OD added a series of DHS provided documents that were suddenly acceptable for illegal aliens traveling without ID. Here's the list of those documents that were suddenly deemed acceptable. Warrant for arrest of alien. So if you have an arrest warrant as an illegal alien, that would allow you to fly. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Order of removal. Order of suspension, notice to appear, arrival and departure form, alien booking record. So literally you could have been arrested, released, and you have your booking form, and that was good enough under the Biden administration to fly under Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, which I'm praying and I'm hoping that we see justice for. It says these documents could be displayed electronically at TSA security checkpoints, meaning an illegal alien could present a photo or screenshot of their device on their device, and TSA agents were permitted to grant them passage. On April 2021, TSA rolled out a CBP-1 pilot program. That program was led by Director of Aviation Coordination Julian E. Williams and Director of Capability Management and Innovation Requirements and Capability Analysis Melissa Conley. The primary goal of the pilot program wasn't tied to the national security, but rather to reduce wait times at TSA security checkpoints. This focus is emphasized repeatedly throughout the concept of operations. In the document, TSA says the influx of illegals without IDs places a severe burden on TSA checkpoints when attempting to vet multiple individuals. The document goes on to brag about how reducing the wait time since rolling this pilot program out, use of CBP-1 also resulted in an efficiency improvement in process cycle times over procedures. The average cycle time for ID verification with CBP-1 was 1.48 minutes as compared to an average of 12.87 minutes, an 88.5% reduction. So they didn't care about your safety, folks. They were worried about getting these through. I've said this time and time again. We've covered the government. We've never seen anything the government does that's efficient. When you go to the Department of Motor Vehicles, when you go anywhere that has to do with government, what happens? You're usually not too excited about the outcome. There's usually a lot of weight. When it came from the second illegals came into the country under Joe Biden, there was Uber Border Patrol vans waiting for them. They had makeshift tent cities set up so that they could process them extra fast. Even with 10,000 a day, they were being processed at within 72 hours. And then more evidence here, what we covered, we showed you, we walked through the airport showing everybody with their DHS folders, showing how long the line was for the illegals. All those people are on their way to get deported now. Thank God, right? Thank God. Check this out. Listen to this really quick.
Asylum
and then we'll
in the
hear
city.
from Mayor Eric
Alan
Adams
Devlin is
himself. When
Eric
we
Adams.
talked about a lot of the funding for these NGOs are gone. And so these NGOs aren't being able to operate. Take a listen to this for New York.
Says he is shutting down the city's migrant facility at Manhattan's Roosevelt Hotel.
Since 2023, the Roosevelt Hotel has served as an arrival center for migrants seeking asylum in the city. Alan Devlin is live outside the Roosevelt Hotel in Midtown. Alan?
Sydney and Mary, it's an iconic Midtown hotel that's been around for about 100 years. And like you just said, it's been serving as a center for asylum seekers for the past 2 years. The mayor came out this morning and announced that will happen no more. This hotel shutting down for good. The hotel first opened to migrants back in 2023 during the height of the migrant crisis back in that year, with the city receiving up to 4,000 migrants a week. We all remember these images you're looking at right now out of that year, showing the vast number of migrants awaiting their next step here at the Roosevelt Hotel. In total, about 232,000 migrants have entered the city seeking shelter, and the Roosevelt Hotel was the front door for about 75% of them, this according to city officials. Now, in a video message released here this morning, Mayor Adams looked to the future.
So that's more good news. And we actually have that video message that Mayor Eric Adams did release. We'll listen to some of that. Again, this is why Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, wanted to take him out of office, is because he was actually doing what anybody that takes an oath to the Constitution should be doing. Take a listen to this.
We are announcing the Roosevelt Hotel, which served as both our asylum arrival center and a humanitarian emergency response and relief center for nearly 2 years, will be closing in the coming months. Thanks to the successful strategies we put in place here in New York City, and because of policies we advocated for at the border. The Roosevelt Hotel was opened in May 2023 during the height of the crisis, with the city receiving an average of 4,000 arrivals each week. Now, thanks to our policies, we're down to an average of just 350 new arrivals each week. And while we're not done caring for those who came into our care, today marks another milestone in demonstrating the immense progress we have achieved in turning the corner on the unprecedented international humanitarian.
Folks, things are changing, and we're seeing that time and time again. It's absolutely incredible that literally within, 35 days, a little over a month and 4 days since inauguration, we have seen so much happen, so much done, and it's beautiful to watch. It's a very historical time in this country. Listen to this. A federal judge, this is interesting. A federal judge blocks the Trump administration from conducting immigration arrests at some places of worship. Now, again, I think, and you'll realize this in 6 to 9 months, I think most of you realize, but the Trump administration is throwing so much stuff out there. They don't need to go to a place of worship to arrest somebody. But they put everything on the table so that these people spend their time and effort suing the Trump administration over this. And again, there's going to be people held accountable. We covered a story last week where someone was held accountable, a bakery in southern Texas that they arrested 7 or 8 illegals. They talked to the shop owners. The shop owners confirmed they knew they were illegal and charged the shop owners, arrested the shop owners with harboring. We're going to see more and more of this, and then hopefully people like this will be done. But listen to what this person says. Could you imagine putting illegals first and telling ICE to get out of your community, get out of your neighborhoods? You know what? Again, we're going to see some interesting stuff over the next year.
Nobody was taken, and those ICE agents, they retreated and they left the.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles, ICE agents' vehicles here behind Target.
In Alhambra, members of the community patrols from longtime community immigrants' rights organization, Unión del Barrio, posting themselves targeting what they say was one of 2 immigration enforcement actions early this morning.
Our people had megaphones, and they called for backup of other of our folks, and they both went to those locations.
Leave our neighborhood! Get out! Migra afuera! Get out! Immigration! Get out! It's not welcome here!
We are super happy to report that once the agents saw that they were being recorded and that the people were alerting the community with the megaphone, nobody was taken. And those ICE agents, they retreated and they left the community.
No comment from anyone in the vehicles seen leaving.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 agents.
ICE not speaking to the specific incident other than to say it was not a raid or sweep.
So I like that they're doing this because they're exposing themselves. And again, you just wait with Tom Homan. I'm sure these people have some skeletons in their closet, and if they want to be investigated and they want to interfere with a federal law enforcement investigation, be my guest, But to say, don't come into our community, this ain't your community. If Mexico's so great and you want all their people here, go to Mexico. You're the same people holding the Mexican flag. You're the same people that don't say the names of any American citizens that's been killed and slaughtered, murdered, raped by illegal aliens that Joe Biden let into this country. They will be deported. I promise you, Americans will stand up and do it themselves if Trump asks them to. We're to that point now. We're done with your ignorance. And anybody that does this, let's cut down all the welfare from them and watch how quick they're silent. I guarantee those people live off your tax dollars. I'll put money on it. Really quick, we talked last week about the Postal Service and how inefficient and ineffective it's been ran. They're not going to abolish the Postal Service, but they do want it to. They do want to go through some things and try to tighten it up. I think they need to do it with every federal department, every agency, everything. Well, if you look who's against that, and I just want to show you this right here, and then we'll play the video. The Party for Socialism and Liberation, folks. Socialism. And again, I think there probably is a lot of socialism at these government things, communism. As we know, many federal employees are getting paid for not even working. Again, it shouldn't affect the good employees. The post office is actually one of those things from the lower level that actually have people working and doing their jobs, right? They come deliver your mail every day, rain, sleet, snow, 110 degrees. Those people are the ground workers. Those people should be protected. But the people up top, and we just said that their director resigned 2 weeks ago. And it's because, again, it's been very inefficient. Anything the government touches is inefficient, just like Amtrak. When you look at Amtrak, what percentage is it? Like 59% of your Amtrak ticket is subsidized by taxpayers because Democrats got to have rapid mass transit or mass transit. It's just insane that it can't be self-sufficient. If it's not self-sufficient, it doesn't make sense. Well, that's what Trump wants to do with the post office. But look at the Party of Socialism and Liberation. It tells you everything you need to know and what. Hell no! 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 Oh, man. I love that there's just so many things they can't put their mind to one specific target because, again, the Trump administration is just moving faster than we've ever seen before, guys. Hey, I want to say thank you for all you guys tuning in. Please head over to our website, theoreoexpress.com. Check out our shop over there. And if you want to donate and help out our platform, keep the lights on. We do appreciate the blessing. Thank you to everybody who donated today. Let me make sure I didn't get no online donations really quick. Let the mailbox. But if you do want to, help us out, we appreciate it. You can go to Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $ Oreo Army. And then we have givesendgo.com/Oreo 2024. And if you guys use Zelle transfers, we appreciate those too. You can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, and it has a donate now button. I'm not sure. We did get a Give Send Go. Check that out. I'm not sure. From Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous, for the Give Send Go. And thank you guys so much for everything. And make sure that was it. Rumble. Wow, we've been live almost 2 hours now. Again, want to say thank you. You guys make this whole thing possible. Couldn't do it without you. It's an absolute blessing and honor. I'm not sure if we're going to have an afternoon one because this one started so late, but we might be live later. Make sure you got your notifications on. And honestly, God bless Dan Bongino, Cash Patel, and the new and improved FBI guys. I couldn't imagine when we were supporting Trump, we would see so much so soon. But God bless him. And prayers for all their safety. And thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you here possibly later. But if not, we will be back live tomorrow morning with our regular show.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 20 2025 6-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale.